Hey everyone, Ben from River Surf Lab, here to do a review of the Badfish Shuvit. This is a high volume shortboard from Badfish. It's 3 inches thick, 45 liters, and I find it works best on big, kind of mellow and hard to catch river waves like Glenwood Springs, maybe Springdale sometimes, Pipeline for sure, Lunch Counter maybe at the low and high ends of the ideal flows, waves where it can be a little bit tricky to get onto the wave or catch it or stand up. This board I find catches waves very easily, makes a pop-up very easy, and really helps me dial in those tricky waves when I'm struggling a bit. I also find that this board is good for beginners who are just learning to river surf. At 23 and 5/8 wide, it's nice and stable, especially if you throw in 3 big fins in it. I've seen a lot of surfers get some of their first rides on either this, the Badfish Shuvit, or the slightly larger version, the Badfish Snapper. At 3 inches thick, this board can work great on small waves and foamy holes. The one thing to note though is that it is a fiberglass construction, and typically I avoid surfing fiberglass boards anywhere where it's shallow or super rocky just because they're easy to ding. If you're looking for something that you can surf in shallower or rockier features, either take a look at the Badfish Wavo, which is an inflatable and indestructible, or a board like the Hydrus Blisket, which is a hard board but has a more durable construction. The Shuvit does not work very well on shortboard specific river waves. So waves like River Run Park, Salida Scout Wave, or the City Wave in Washington. This board really has way too much volume for those waves where you're standing up immediately, there's no paddle to catch, no pop-up, and the board is going to immediately plane out. For waves like that, you want something with a lot less volume. If you're a beginner, you could take a look at the Badfish Bomb Drop, which is a foam board, very durable, good beginner board. If you're an intermediate river surfer or better, I'd take a look at the Badfish Wave Farmer, which is a fiberglass construction board. It's going to be higher performance. Or maybe something like the LibTech Hydro Snapper if you're more into a skim or wake shape. This is also a more durable construction from LibTech. The other board to take a look at would be the LibTech Puddle Jumper, which is going to be a more of an all-around board but works very well on shortboard waves. If you're considering getting the Shuvit to surf large river waves, you should also take a look at the LibTech Freak Flag Beanbag. I find this board works well in similar large river wave situations to the Shuvit. The one difference that I find in the surfing between the two is that the Shuvit will make quicker, snappier turns, but they feel like they're mostly turning around the fins, whereas the Freak Flag Beanbag will make longer, more drawn-out carves off the rails. 2 things to note, however, with this board. If you're a beginner, you probably will want to get the Shuvit. Also, if you tend to surf more foamy holes rather than big green waves, I would recommend the Shuvit. The one other board to consider comparing the Shuvit to is the Badfish Snapper. And that is basically a very similarly shaped board from Badfish, but just bigger. And for myself, at around 160 pounds, I find the Shuvit to be just about the right size. If you're a heavier, larger river surfer, you may find the Snapper fits you better. That's it for today's review. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.